Good morning, everybody. I want you to imagine a moment when an angel appears in your life and she asks you whether you would like to go to heaven with her. Most probably, you would not accept that option because that would involve dying. But if you could go to heaven without dying and come back and have a good life, you would readily accept it. Awe is the emotion, a powerful emotion that takes you to heaven and back. It's the emotion which gives you goosebumps. And when you come back, it changes your life. You have deeper consciousness, a deeper connectedness, a deeper meaning. Unfortunately, 8 out of 10 people have not experienced awe, and 8 out of 10 people are not flourishing. Awe has caught the attention of many scientists and researchers. Paul Pearson has done amazing research on awe. He says life's mysteries never end. There's an endless mystery of life, and we never can know all of it. I'm going to be borrowing from the research done by Paul Pearson in this presentation. Before we talk and delve deeper into awe, I want to tell you a story. The story is on manifesting miracles. Manifesting means making something which is invisible visible. A miracle which you cannot see, invisible, becomes visible to you. That's manifesting. So this is the story of a young man who had a small business. He used to work very hard, morning to night, always on his cell phone and computer and talking to customers. He had a reasonable business, but he was looking for a break, a big break, a game changer, a life changer, a miracle. And he had lots of thoughts. He'd be stressed with thoughts, as if he's dreaming thoughts, or he's having a thought dream all the time. And when you're in a thought dream, awareness is less of what's going on, but he was very busy with his work. He had a wise father who wanted to help him. So the wise father gave him a map and said, there's a treasure buried in a house which is near, the house is near a rainbow, and you have to go through a countryside which is actually God's own country. It'll take you a few days to reach there, but there's a treasure buried in that house, inside the house. So the young man was very happy. This was the break probably he was looking for. This was the game changer, he thought. So let me go and find that treasure. So he set off to that house with the goal of finding that treasure. And while he was going, he was handling his back office and dreaming about what he'll do with the treasure, and lots of thoughts. He passed through God's own country, and looked good, but he didn't have time. He had a mission, had a goal, to find the treasure before somebody else finds it. So he didn't stop to look at it. There was a stunning sunset on the way. He had no time. He had to find the treasure before somebody else finds it. There were some very kind people he met on the way who wanted him to stay with them and enjoy the time there. But our young man was very focused on his goal, and he had to find the treasure. He did not stop there and left quickly. Then there was some religious discourse being given by a spiritual man. The discourse looked interesting, but our man did not have time. He had to rush to find his treasure. So he reached the house as the father had said, and there's a rainbow behind it. All of what the father said was true. So he started looking for the treasure. but he did not find any treasure. He searched and searched. There was no treasure. So he paused. He waited. And then he decided, let me go back, and then let me not be under the pressure. Of course, the pressure of treasure had gone. So let me go back and enjoy the travel back, the journey back. So now he did not have his cell phone with him. He put it in his pocket. He looked at the sunset. It was wonderful. It was amazing. It was striking. New emotions were getting generated in this young man. Then he stopped at the discourse, which he found enlightening. He met those friends again, those people again, the kind people, and he made friends with them and spent a few days with them. And then went through this beautiful God's own country. And he was amazed by what he was seeing. He was wonderstruck. So he reached home, and the father asked him, did you find the treasure? Did you find any miracle? So the young man said, no, I did not find that treasure, but I found a lot of treasures. I found a lot of miracles. There were miracles everywhere. On the way back, his life had changed. The father knew that this young man had experienced an emotion of awe, and now his life will be more meaningful and less empty. The father knew that this man had had a great time because of the awe emotion. There are two ways to live life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, and the other is that everything is a miracle. When you believe nothing is a miracle, you live a life of stress, meaningless, emptiness. On the other hand, if you find everything to be a miracle around you, the sunset, the sunrise, the trees, the honeybees, the ocean, everything is a miracle, then you get a sense of awe. You flourish. Just like our young man, he was living a life of awe, which is called languishing. On the way back, he experienced awe, and his life turned to flourishing. So awe is that emotion which converts or moves you from languishing to flourishing. So what is languishing? Languishing is the dominant emotion of this COVID-19 2021. It's not being sad or being happy. It's not being mentally or healthy or mentally ill. It's kind of a void and an emptiness. It's not depression, it's not joy, but it's a sleep-like state which we are all facing in this time. It's a busy life which we create because life seems to be losing its meaning, and we distract ourselves with a lot of work. It is a life which is awe deficient. And languishing is today our newest ADD, the awe deprived disorder. So what is flourishing and awe inspired flourishing? Flourishing is when you work at your optimal level, your life is deeply happy and fulfilled. And awe inspired flourishing is a little different, because flourishing kind of takes you to a destination where you have reached your peak level. Awe tells you that there is no optimal level, there is more and more. The mystery of life is endless. It's an unending journey and there's something more. Awe-inspired flourishing is a process, is a journey, while flourishing sometimes people mistake it to be a destination. And when you're in awe, the journey itself becomes a destination. So let's delve more into what is awe. Scientists initially for several 50, 100 years have called awe a supernatural emotion, meaning that it is an emotion which only religious people, spiritual people feel or experience. Eastern scriptures evoke awe. Guru Nanak says that God takes care of his creation in awe. He uses the term bismad. Bismad means awe. And he says God is in bismad. So God's emotion is awe. Paul Pearson adds to this by saying that awe is God's way of getting your full attention. When he wants your full attention, he gives you a dose of awe. Scientists today have taken awe out of the religious domain and have said that nature, surroundings, and many places you can still feel awe. Mountains is one of them because mountains evoke a sense of awe in us. Keltner and Haidt from UC Berkeley talk about awe, that we experience awe when we perceive vastness, when we are in the presence of something bigger than ourselves, something larger than ourselves, and we feel a part of something bigger. That's one requirement of awe to be experienced. The stimuli does not need to be very large, but you perceive the largeness. If, for instance, you see an ant and you are awed, it is that the creator of the ant must be really very big and vast. So you feel something larger than yourself, something bigger than yourself. And that's when awe is generated. And then what happens is that the brain has to get adjusted to the new experience, which is called mental accommodation. Because it's a new experience, it's a mind-bending, earth-shattering experience, the structures of the brain are readjusted to absorb that emotion of awe. So when you keep getting awe doses, the brain structures keep changing and getting more and more added on. The brain aperture opens up. Continuing on with talking more about awe, we said it's a supernatural emotion, and then we said what the scientists have said. Then awe is an unnatural emotion. Why is it an unnatural emotion? Because our 10 emotions that we have, the fundamental 10 emotions of happiness, sadness, fear, contempt, surprise, they enhance the sense of self. I am happy, I am bigger, I am fearful. It's about me. It enhances my sense of self and ego, while awe shrinks it. When I'm in the presence of something so vast, I feel positively smaller and awe is generated. Being in awe is less about our own feelings pouring out than feelings pouring in. And we cannot be in awe when we are self-focused, which means less of me, more of awe, which is why it's called emotion of the small self. It is the only emotion which shrinks your ego, while all others actually enhance your ego. I'm happy because I bought a car. I'm happy because I got a house. So all of those emotions increase your I-ness, the me-ness. And awe is the emotion where it's less of me. Then awe is another feature of awe is that it's an in-between emotion. Suppose you're playing a tournament, a match, and you're about to lose, and then you feel that you're supported by some hidden power and you play extremely well and win. In between that loss and win, the in-between part, awe will be generated. If you're bonded, say pushed into jail, and there's no hope, and then you feel that somebody helped you get out of jail, freedom is obtained. The in between part time, in between life, uh, awe will be generated. And always when you wake up, if you wake up from a dream thought dreams, you're continuously pounded by thoughts, and then you're able to pull yourself out of that and become aware that these are just thoughts, which is what we call waking up. Then also awe emotion is generated. I'm now going to give you some quotes from awe inspired people. One of them says, awe is something worth living for and dying for. Life has a new meaning now. I have a new meaning to live and a new meaning to die. It's like dying again and again until there's almost no you. I felt so small positively. It's not being born again. It's like dying again, where your sense of self continues to reduce in all a very positive way. And then this one is about the soul gets a respite from being entrapped in the body. The soul gets free for some time from this bondage in the body. That's another quote from some awe-inspired people. I also want to tell you something about awe. It has a butterfly effect. Butterfly effect means that this is from Edward Lawrence, who said that flapping of a butterfly wing in one location can have a huge result. A windstorm can be created in another location. Meaning, a tiny choice that you make can have a major impact on your life. So, awe has the same effect. Tiny doses of awe can have an immense result and change your life. It can go a long way in flourishing. So, small doses of awe will create a big result. That's what I want to talk to you about awe. And I now want to tell you a story before I conclude this presentation. This story is about, the title is, Are you a chicken or an egg? Or an eagle, sorry. Are you a chicken or an eagle? Once upon a time, there was an eagle. She laid some eggs, and there was a storm, and the eagle had to fly away, and the eggs rolled down to a chicken farm. The hen laid the eagle egg as well as the chicken eggs, and an eaglet was born, and the eaglet lived with the chickens, and she thought she was a chicken. She did the same things that chickens did. Chickens always look down, they never look up. They scratch the earth, the ground, for some of their food. They flap their wings and only fly a very short height. The eagle did all of that. He lived in the chicken house, the eaglet lived in the chicken house, thinking she was a chicken. Unfortunately, the chickens made fun of him. You are a very bad chicken. She was a bad chicken, obviously, because she was an eagle. You're so dumb. You're no good. Every day, the eaglet was made fun of. The eaglet lived in shame, languishing. Life was terrible for her. One day, a big eagle was flying past the chicken farm, and she saw this eaglet amongst these chickens. She was surprised. She came flying down. As soon as the chickens saw the eagle come down, they rushed into the chicken house, but the eaglet was left on the other side, and the big eagle came down and looked at the eaglet. What are you doing here? You're an eagle. What are you doing amongst chickens? The eagle asked. The eaglet said, What do you mean? I am a chicken. He said, No, you're no chicken. You're an eagle. You belong to the skies. We soar the skies. We don't run around this ground and earth and looking for food, scratching the ground. You have to soar the skies. The chicken in the chicken farms, the chickens in the chicken farm called out to the eaglet and said, Don't believe him. Come rushing back to the chicken house. You'll be safe. You'll be secure. The big eagle, counseled the eaglet, said, What I want you to do is to go up to that rock and just look at the sky. You have always looked down. I want you to look at the sky. The eagle walked up. He looked at the sky. He had never seen the sky. He was in a state of awe. The sky is so vast, so big. Yes, but what you're seeing is only a tiny part. It is even bigger and bigger than what you're seeing. The eagle's mindset was changing from a chicken mindset to an eagle mindset. The in between emotion of awe, doses of awe were getting released. He knew that the universe will help him. He somehow believed that the universe will help him. The big eagle now directed the small eaglet, I want you to jump. There was fear. The eaglet looked down. It was scary. He looked at the sky. The clouds were dark. A storm was coming. The universe was there to support him. A blast of wind came. The eagle jumped. He discovered his true self. He discovered that he was no chicken. He discovered that the universe was there out to support and help him. He did not have to flap his wings. The wind from the skies were helping him fly. He did this all in awe. He realized he was a part of the universe. He realized that the universe is out to support him. My question to you, are you a chicken or an eagle? What is the difference? Chicken scratches in the dirt. Eagle sits on a cliff. When there's a storm coming, the chickens just start running around and round, flap their wings, but don't fly. They are worried, they're scared, they rush into the chicken house, and all the scared chickens are now in the chicken house whenever there's a storm coming. What does the eagle do when a storm is coming? The eagle turns his face into the storm. He looks at the storm. He looks at the storm, feels a sense of awe. He realizes that the universe is so vast and he's part of the same universe. He recognizes that the universe is out there to support and help him. It can only happen when you have an awe emotion inside you. As soon as the storm hits, the eagle jumps. He doesn't flap his wings. He lets the universe provide the energy and he flies. And he flies above the clouds where there's sunshine. And when the clouds disappear, when the storm disappears, it comes back. The difference, the gap, the boundary between the universe and the eagle is gone. You are born an eagle, meant to rise above storms and soar the skies in awe. Remember, the universe is out there to help you, support you. You are a part of that big universe. You are a drop in the ocean, but the ocean is in that drop. Live in awe and change your life. Thank you very much for your time.